I used to believe high school ended when the final bell rang, but some memories refused to graduate. Mine always circled back to Aiden Carter, the golden boy who treated me like a shadow he wished didn't exist. Aiden wasn't just popular, he was adored. Broad-shouldered, fast on the field, charming in every hallway. To everyone else, he was effortless perfection. To me, he was the storm I could never outrun. My name is Evan Blake, and I spent those years shrinking into locker doors and hiding inside headphones, just to avoid his mocking laugh. His words pierced deeper than the occasional shove. Freak. Soft. Why do you walk like that? Each taunt was a reminder that being different was dangerous. That I told myself it didn't matter, that one day, I would escape all of it. College helped me rebuild. I learned confidence in small steps, holding eye contact, breathing without fear, discovering there was nothing wrong with the way I existed. I found work at a marketing firm, surrounded by people who didn't see me as a target. My scars still ache sometimes, but at least I walked with my head up. Then one Monday morning, the past walked straight into my present. That I was arranging presentation folders in our conference room when the door opened and a voice, too familiar, filled the space. Is this seat taken? I froze. Aiden stood there, older but unmistakable. His hair was shorter now, his jaw sharper, his presence still commanding. For a second, I wondered if my brain was punishing me with hallucinations. But no, he smiled, a hesitant curve of lips I never thought he could form. Evan. Wow. It's really you. Hearing my name from his mouth felt wrong, like a secret code twisted out of place. My pulse hammered against my ribs, dragging back years of humiliation in a single breath. That I swallowed the bitterness rising in my throat. Yeah. It's me. Evan. He shifted as though trying to find the right angle to stand, the right version of himself to present. I just joined the design team. I didn't know you worked here. Well, I replied stiffly, I do. Silence followed, thick, unsettling. I expected sarcasm, or a smirk, or some reminder that I was once his favorite target. Instead, he looked almost nervous. Listen, he began quietly, I know high school wasn't great between us. Between us. If we shared the blame equally. That I stiffened, ready to shield myself with practiced indifference. But the meeting started then, and Aiden took a seat 2 chairs away, offering me a brief, unreadable glance before focusing on the agenda. Throughout the presentation, he kept stealing glances. Not mocking, studying. Measuring. His posture wasn't predatory anymore, it was uncertain. When his eyes met mine the 3rd time, he looked away first. That alone felt like a crack in the world I once knew. During a short break, he approached again, gently this time. Evan, could we maybe talk later? Just, to clear the air. The request shocked me. I wanted to reject him outright and protect what little peace I'd built. But curiosity, dangerous curiosity, lingered under my skin. Why was he suddenly civil? Why did guilt seem to live in his eyes? I don't think there's much to talk about, I said, though my voice lacked conviction. Aiden exhaled slowly, his shoulders dropping. I get it. I deserve that. But please, if you ever feel like giving me 5 minutes, I'll be here. He returned to his seat, leaving my mind rattling between past and present. The bully who controlled my nightmares was now just a man trying not to tremble while holding a coffee cup. The rest of the day dragged beneath the weight of questions I didn't want to ask. I tried to convince myself he was putting on an act, or worse, trying to rewrite history to ease his conscience. Yet, a quieter thought whispered beneath the anger, people don't change this much without a reason. When I finally stepped out of the office that evening, Aiden waited near the elevator, not blocking my path, not demanding attention, just waiting. His expression was steady but apologetic, like he was bracing for impact. Evan, he said softly, I really am sorry. And I'd like to explain, if you'll let me. I stared at him, at the person who once made me feel smaller than air, and realized the story between us wasn't finished. Something new had begun the moment he walked through that conference room door, and I wasn't sure if I was ready for where it might lead. The week after Aiden joined the firm became an exercise in restraint. I tried to ignore the way he hovered near my desk during breaks or how his smile flickered whenever our eyes met. I told myself it was better to pretend he didn't exist, better to protect the years of healing I had stitched together. But he kept searching for the smallest openings, and I kept failing to close them. One afternoon, the printer jammed for the 5th time, and frustration pushed a sigh out of me. Aiden appeared at my side before I even turned around. "Let me help," he offered, gently taking the papers from my hands. "I don't need," I began, but the machine obeyed him instantly, spitting out the reports that he grinned triumphantly. "See? I'm good for something." I wanted to stay angry. Instead, my gratitude betrayed me with a quiet, "Thank you." His expression softened. "That's the first time you've said anything to me without looking like you'd rather throw a stapler at my head." I tried not to laugh. I failed again. Moments like that became dangerous. They chipped away at the walls I'd built, piece by stubborn piece. Later that evening, the office emptied until only a few lights glowed across the floor. I was finalizing a design mock-up when Aiden stopped by with 2 cups of coffee. "Peace offering," he said, placing one beside me. I eyed it warily. "If this is poisoned, you missed your chance years ago." He chuckled, but the guilt returned to his eyes. "Evan, I know I can't erase what I did. But I'm trying, really trying, to be someone better." Silence stretched between us, full of unspoken memories. I finally asked the question that had been suffocating me: why? Why now? Aiden took a slow breath, looking down at his hands. "Because I live every day remembering how I treated you. And because I've realized I wasn't cruel out of hatred." His voice dropped to a whisper. I was terrified. The honesty in his tone startled me. He continued before I could respond, "I didn't understand what I was feeling back then. And instead of facing it, I punished you for making me feel anything at all." His confession dug up old emotions, some painful, some frighteningly warm. "You were the only person I noticed," he said. "And that scared me more than anything." I felt heat rise under my skin. "Aiden, you can't just say that like it's simple." "It's not simple," he agreed quickly. "Which is why I'm trying to tell you everything." He hesitated, a shadow crossing his face. "I'm with someone right now. Her name is Emily. We've been together since college. And I care about her. I do." He swallowed hard. "But when I saw you again, everything I thought I'd buried came rushing back." His admission landed like a strike to the chest. Aiden wasn't just apologizing, he was confessing a forbidden desire. "So what are you saying?" I asked, my voice trembling between anger and something more dangerous. "I'm saying I can't stop thinking about you," he answered, eyes burning with sincerity. "Even when I know I shouldn't." The room felt smaller, the air thickened with tension neither of us wanted to acknowledge. I stepped back, needing space to breathe. "You have a girlfriend," I reminded him sharply. "I know," he said, as though the words tasted bitter. "And I hate myself for wanting you anyway." My heart thudded wildly, torn between vindication and fear. Part of me had dreamed of hearing those words when I was younger and foolishly in awe of him. But reality was messier. Riskier. Cruel in new ways. "Aiden, this isn't fair," I said. "Not to me. Not to her." "You're right," he admitted. "But feelings aren't fair." He moved one step closer, close enough for me to notice the tremor in his breath, the vulnerability in his stance. This wasn't the confident athlete who once mocked me. This was a man unraveling under the weight of his own truth. "Please," he whispered. "Let me make things right. Let me show you who I really am." I shook my head slowly, unsure whether I was rejecting him or just the danger he represented, but he didn't push further. Instead, he whispered, "If you give me a chance, I'll wait for your answer." He walked away before I could choose a response, leaving me alone with a heart pounding far too loudly in a quiet room. For years, Aiden Carter was the source of my deepest insecurity. Now, he was becoming the one person who made me feel seen, and I didn't know which version of him terrified me more. The tension between us didn't fade. It thickened, waiting to spill into something irreversible. I tried distracting myself with deadlines, meetings, anything that kept my eyes away from Aiden Carter, but he was everywhere. His laugh carried across the office. His messages appeared on my phone. His presence lingered like a truth I was scared to face. One evening, the city fell into its usual hush as lights dimmed and computers powered down. I stayed late to finalize a project that needed approval the next morning. When I headed toward the elevators, I found Aiden alone near the glass windows, staring at the skyline as if it held the answer to every question he'd been avoiding. He turned when he heard me. "I was hoping to catch you." I should have walked away. I should have told him this conversation was over before it could destroy us. But something in his eyes, worn down, afraid, hopeful, pulled me closer. "Aiden, we can't pretend nothing is happening," I said. "Your girlfriend, Emily, she deserves honesty." He nodded, jaw tightening. "You're right. I told her we needed to talk tonight." The statement knocked the breath from my lungs. This wasn't a fantasy anymore. It was real, messy, painful. "What are you going to tell her?" I asked quietly. "That I can't keep lying," he replied. "That I've been unhappy, and I finally understand why." He stepped closer, careful yet desperate. "Evan, being near you makes everything make sense. I don't want to hide from myself anymore." I felt that admission like a force to the chest. Years of fear, humiliation, and longing compressed into one fragile truth. But acceptance wasn't enough. "Not now." "If you're saying this," I said, "it can't be temporary. It can't be because of guilt or confusion or old feelings resurfacing. I won't be a secret someone regrets." His voice dropped to a trembling whisper. "You won't be." I wanted to believe him. I needed to believe him. But trust isn't built in a single apology or heat-of-the-moment revelation, it's rebuilt with choices. "I won't move forward with you until you end things with Emily," I said, holding his gaze. "Not a day sooner." Aiden nodded, determination sharpening in his expression. "Then that's what I'll do." He reached out, fingertips hovering near my hand, but he stopped himself. The restraint said more than a touch ever could. He cared enough to wait. "I'll call you after I talk to her," he promised. I watched him walk away, heart thundering with possibilities I never dared imagine. When I finally stepped out into the night, the cold air shocked clarity into me. I had crossed a line. Whether it led to redemption or destruction, there was no way back. The hours crawled. I paced my apartment, checking my phone too often, rehearsing conversations that might never happen. Doubt whispered ugly questions. What if he changes his mind? What if he chooses the comfort of the life he already knows? What if I'm just another secret he buries? Just when fear threatened to swallow hope, my phone buzzed. "Aiden," I told her. "It's over." 3 words. A seismic shift. Before I could respond, another message arrived. "Aiden, but she deserves answers. She needs time. I need time. Can we meet tomorrow? I want you to hear everything from me." Relief collided with anxiety. Even in honesty, nothing was simple. I typed and deleted several replies before settling on the truth. "Evan, yes. Tomorrow." I placed the phone down, letting the silence settle. My chest ached with a mixture of anticipation and dread. I was no longer the boy he broke. I was the man he risked everything to choose, but risks can fail. I stared out the window at the city lights, each one a flicker of a future not yet decided. Somewhere across town, Aiden was facing the aftermath of his confession. Somewhere between us, a new beginning trembled, waiting for either courage or collapse. For the first time, our story wasn't rooted in power or pain. It was rooted in choice, and tomorrow would reveal whether love could survive the truth that finally set us free.